Hi everyone, and welcome to Jodi Tiahrt TV on WCOBM. I am your host, Jodi Tiahrt, and I'm really excited about today. Today's episode is going to be all about training and nutrition. And I actually found this ugly guy on the street today. So I thought he looked like a trainer. He's got a little bit of muscle, so I figured I'll bring this guy in, see what he's all about, and see what he has to offer us today. So Derek, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad you did your hair and makeup.
I did.
The eyelashes on, everything. So I didn't recognize him at first.
She didn't even give me a ride here. She actually told me to walk the rest of the way here. Just so you guys know. But no, really, thank you for having me on. I'm very excited to be here, and I think this is going to be fun.
It is. So everybody wants to know everything about you. Well, not everything, but we want to know where you're from, how you got started in fitness, obviously, and what you have going on in your life.
For sure. So originally, I'm actually from Michigan, and I'm kind of an old man now. I'm actually 36, but So I spent about 30 years of my life in Michigan. So if anybody knows Michigan, it's extremely cold.
Oh yeah.
About 6 months out of the year, and the other 6 months is like hit or miss with rain. So the number one reason why I moved here to Vegas, a lot of people ask me, is literally because of the weather.
Yeah.
So, but in Michigan, I grew up playing two main sports. It was hockey,
Okay.
Which I eventually ended up going to juniors and then pros.
Nice.
And then another big sport of mine was motocross.
Okay.
So basically from the beginning of time, I've always been active in sports.
Nice.
And I've played really high levels of both, and motocross being the number one most physically demanding sport on earth.
Really?
Yes. A lot of people don't know that. Number two is actually soccer, but motocross is insanely, it takes every muscle in your body to do.
Okay.
And it's for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
We're talking like 35 minutes. It would basically be like being in an MMA ring for 35 minutes straight, full blast. So it's very intense. So from the beginning, I got into trying to understand how I could optimize my body. And a big part of that was food and nutrition.
Okay.
So it started out seriously like when I was like 12, 13 years old, wanting to understand how I could be better at my sports. Because at the levels that I was playing at, everybody's good. Everybody's great. And even now, some of the guys that I played hockey with, they're still playing.
Wow.
You watch them on the NHL. I mean, these are the guys that I grew up with playing. So any advantage that I could find, I searched out. So whether that be through supplementation, food, and I kind of carried it through my teens and then even into my 20s. And I didn't necessarily train people or do nutrition for people during those teenage years or even the 20s. But it was always something that I held as a passion of my own. So that's what I did for myself. So I kind of collected all of this information over all of these years. And I, of course, took a lot of courses. I've been to college. I've got degrees and all of these sort of good things. But I learned most of my stuff through experiences, whether it be through injuries or but I mean literally I learned a lot through injuries, through just doing the things, the doingness of it, and then the trainers that I used to work with. And that's where this kind of started. So I would be playing hockey and somebody would get hurt, they would go through rehabilitation, or maybe not the injury, maybe it was just making the person better. So I took a big interest in that, seeing the trainers and how they work with the athletes, the pro athletes, including myself at the time. And before all of that, my work, I actually owned a landscape company for 18 years. And
landscape in Michigan.
Snow. There's a lot. Yeah, so we did snow and we did a lot of landscape stuff, of course. And then I was a multi-store Subway unit owner. So I've been a franchisee for 14 years.
How many sandwiches did you eat a day?
More than you guys want to know. Too many. And I won't eat any more. I'm good. But so that's what I did. And then when I came here is when I went full force on making my passion into, I don't want to say work because it's not really work,
right,
but it's what I do now.
Yeah.
It's what I love to do. I wake up every day, and I can't say it's work because it's really not. I'm at a point in my life now where I can actually get up and do something I really, really love to do.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I can take all of my years of experience, 20 plus years of experience in doing this sort of thing, and apply it to my clients. So it's a really good feeling for me, and it's exceptionally rewarding when I can help somebody.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, that is my number one goal.
Yeah. So when did you retire from motocross? Was it when you moved out to Vegas or before?
I did. I actually retired when I went to college because motocross is something I had to make a decision. Am I going to make this a full-time career? And kind of skipped college because it's not one of those things where you can go to school, away to school, and be a full-time student, which I was, and race motocross and still be competitive. So I made the decision to go to school. The risk of injury in motocross is very high.
I'm sure.
And as much as I loved it, I had to make a smart decision, and I feel like I did. And that was to basically get off of the bike, and I was probably about 20 when I did. Like at least at the level that I was at.
Right.
I still kind of came home and rode, but I wasn't competing any longer. So then I went to school, and through school I still maintained my business though.
Wow.
Throughout my whole 4 years.
Oh my God, you're a workaholic.
Yeah, I mean some
Yes,
people would say that. I mean, starting my first business at 15, starting with my neighbor's lawn, and then building it into what I did. In total, I had, I think, 70 some full-time employees at one point.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
so,
lot.
and it started with just myself. So, yeah, I mean, for 4 years straight, I literally drove home 5 hours every Friday to work my business, to leave on Sunday, another 5 hours back to school. And I never missed a single weekend for 4 years straight. Every single weekend I came home to work my business.
And were you still training at the time? Meaning, were you getting in the gym, doing workouts?
Yeah, I was actually still playing hockey,
Okay.
believe it or not. So I kind of off the motocross. I focused on hockey at that point, and I focused on school pretty much, and my business. Those were my three things. I mean, there was no room for anything else, to be honest with you.
Obviously.
You know, so, yeah, I mean, as far as like partying and that kind of stuff, and the average, I would say, like college experience, I probably did about 70% of the college experience, if you will. I'm not a drinker. I've never had a drink in my life. No drugs or anything like that. So I was kind of rogue in that sense, I guess. You know, I just I had purposes that I set forth to achieve, and I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
No,
know?
I get it 100%. I was basically the same way. Just a nerd in college, working all the time, competing in fitness competitions.
Yeah, I mean, you've done
Yeah.
like what,
A lot.
70 some competitions now?
42.
42?
Yeah, done.
Okay.
Retired.
Well, at least for now, right? Okay, we'll have
No,
to we'll have to see.
no.
We'll have to see before the end of the year, okay? Because we've been working hard. No, but yeah. So you know how it is.
Yes,
I mean, you've
absolutely.
kind of been there, and now you're building your business into an ultra successful, awesome business.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's amazing. So you can relate with me on that.
Yes, absolutely, I can.
Yep. And you're still going hard.
Yeah, trying.
Yep.
All right, guys. So when we come back, we're going to take a short commercial break. We're actually going to bring on one of Derek's team members who's also a trainer with him. And we're going to talk to him a little bit, and we're going to show some upcoming videos on his training techniques. Please stay tuned, because I promise you, you're not going to want to miss these videos. They are absolutely amazing. We will see you in a few minutes.